You are still everything you think you are, even though it's not happening right now. You don't have to go run and hide. Okay, clearly this video is going to come with some type of my own story time, because there's no way I'm talking to you about something I haven't already been through, right? So this is for you if you didn't graduate with your class, or you're finding out you're not going to graduate with your class. Let's start with my story time. So over my years in school, I did a little bit of moving and I did a whole lot of skipping. So while I always did like just enough to be okay and keep me going to the next grade, eventually it caught up with me in the 12th grade at the very last minute. And because I was a half credit off, I needed 24 credits to graduate, and I had 23.5. I could not graduate with my class, and because I was skipping and throwing away every opportunity that my school tried to give me to catch up, because I was battling my own level of depression, and I was dealing with my own rebellious nature, and I kind of didn't care about life or anything else anymore at that time. I had thrown away every opportunity I had to catch up and get that half credit. So the inevitable happened, and I did not graduate. I did not walk the stage. I did not do all the things that you would hope to or are supposed to do when you've completed 4 years of high school. I didn't get to do it. But like I said, due to my own issues and depression and different things that I was dealing with, things that I had like no way of like knowing what was going on, recognizing that there was something wrong with me, or even like talking to someone about it, because it was stuff I didn't recognize within myself. At that time, I did have friends try to reach out to me because they could see I was going down the path that really wasn't like good for me or meant for me, but I was so wrapped up in my own mess that I couldn't see that they were trying to help me. It kind of felt like an attack when they did try to talk to me about it. So I completely disregarded like everything they were saying and all of their worries and stuff that they had for me. So I would not recommend like an intervention type of thing with the person. Like if you do want to reach somebody, there are ways to do it, and I think that you should like maybe sit and discuss the different ways you're going to talk to someone, if you're going to talk to someone about how they're doing whatever they're doing that you think that they should stop or change or not be doing. But nonetheless, we were all young. They were doing their best, and little did I know, though I was doing like the absolute worst at the time, I was doing my best. I was in the middle of depression that had lasted me a couple years, but because I knew very little about depression, I had like no way of putting a finger on what was going on with me or why I was dealing with the things that I was dealing with or making the move that I was making. So it was just kind of happening all in a cycle for me. During that time was one of the lowest points in my life. And let me tell you, like, I was in the middle of a real tornado at that time. Like, not graduating had to be like the smallest form of anything that I was going through at that time. It felt like super big, but the rest of it that was going on in the circle was like kind of crazy. It's crazier than not graduating. So I had put myself in a real situation. But at that time, I felt so low. And of course, like, you are in a situation where all of your peers are doing it. So you're seeing them do all the fun things, and they're taking the pictures, and they're having a good time, and they're throwing the parties, and everybody's celebrating the accomplishment that they made that you did not. And that can feel really low, really sad, really hurtful, very easy to have a big pity party for yourself. I know I did. In that time, my solution was to just isolate. So while I did have family members, reach out to me and give me pep talks and kind of let me know that this wasn't the end of my life, during that time, I had actually also been disowned by a part of my family. So there were some people that were like showing me love, and then there was like a whole nother very important part of people who like kind of dropped me on my head right there and was like, that was it. Da 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 da. We love you, but that's it. And that's okay, We'll talk about being disowned later. Right now, this is about not graduating. But at that time, my solution was isolation. See, what I thought was maybe if I took some time to myself, I went and got a hotel room so that I wouldn't have to be around, everyone else getting their congratulations. And I wouldn't have to sit there with the, green envy in my heart, though I didn't work for, what everyone else worked for. I still wanted it. I felt like it was still like mine. I still should have graduated, or at least I thought at the time. But because I didn't want to kind of sit around everyone else that was doing other things. And I would say that was a best practice for me, because I knew that it would help me to feel better and to be able to show up to those parties and celebrate my peers in a real way. Instead of just kind of bottling everything up, I could go to myself, really think to myself, really be with myself, and just spend some time making me feel better. But so here's how I discovered that may not have been the best solution for me. And it's because of my very intrusive friends who tried to give me the pep talk about like the way my life was headed. It was very, very nice at that time to have intrusive friends who don't care about what you want and will more so like kick down the door to give you what you need. So I was at a hotel room during all the fun times and the parties. And I made it to some parties, like don't get me wrong, definitely made it to some. But during those big events, I had gone to a hotel room just to like go off by myself. And when I did, of course, I let my friends know where I was and invited them, and they came. And one day they came by themselves. And of course, I was happy to see them because I'm in a hotel room alone. After a while, it gets a little boring. Who wants to be alone? But what they did was literally bring over their cap and gown and set up an entire graduation for me in the hotel room with just me and my two friends by ourselves. And literally forced me to put on a cap and gown and walk across the hotel room while they gave speeches about the great person that I am, the accomplishments that I did do, the wins that I did get that year, the ways that I had grown up. And they forced me to acknowledge what I did do and who I was in the midst of one of my most hurtful times, when it was so easy to forget who I was, what I did do, how important I was, outside of this one accomplishment that I didn't get, that I in turn ended up going to a 3-day class and spending $100 on just to get the equivalent, the GED, because I didn't want to do a whole nother semester in school. But they showed up and forced me to look at the things of myself that weren't so bad. Because at that time in that room, all I could see is who I wasn't and what I didn't do, what I didn't have, and how things wouldn't go in my life. And while I thought the best thing for me was going to be that isolation, God turned around, kicked down the door by way of my friends, and showed me that you don't have to go run and hide. You are still worthy, even if you didn't get what you thought you were supposed to get when you were supposed to get it. Because, let's be honest, I still got the equivalent. I got the GED. I still got accepted into a college. I still got to have a lot of life experiences. I still have a career. I still got to work. I still got to learn. I still got to do everything I wanted to do. I just didn't get to do it in the pretty little fantasy way that I thought I was supposed to. And that's okay, because I got so much more out of finding silver linings in that mistake. It was a huge mistake. It was a huge blow to my ego and everything I thought I wanted and how I knew that my life was going to look and be planned out. But it forced me to see all the silver linings when I was in the middle of so much pain, trying to figure out how to forgive myself. Why did I hurt myself like this? And how did I get in this situation? I had to see so much more about myself because of the friends that didn't let me sit somewhere alone and sulk. So isolation may seem like the answer, but what I really needed at that time was just love. And that's what I got. Because, man, that shit was hard. You are still everything you think you are, even though it's not happening right now. You can still be everything you want to be, even though that may not be just in your cards right now. something may have happened. I'm sure your story maybe doesn't sound like mine. We all live different lives and different paths. That was just, mine. I effed it off due to not caring and depression. Maybe you had a circumstance that wouldn't allow you. But that doesn't mean that the people that do get it when you want it are anything better than you, are guaranteed anything more than you. It just means that they got something you wanted at the time you wanted it. It doesn't mean anything as far as who you are and what you are able to accomplish. I hope you really believe me today or one day. And I hope you get the chance to look back on it the way I can look back on it now and just understand. It happened, but that's a part of my story. That's a part of my life. That's a part of my testimony. I can now say it with grace, and I can say to you that if it is a part of your story and a part of your testimony, that's it. It's just a piece of the story. You got a whole rest of it to live. That's a piece of the story. That ain't even a big deal. It seems like a big deal right now. I know it does. My heart hurts so bad. At times I can still feel my little heart beating for the person I was when I was going through that. And sometimes I just have to go in and soothe her, because it's okay, baby, it happened. And yeah, I do have to find pride and confidence in telling people, no, I don't have a diploma, if it ever comes up, because at this point I'm not ashamed of who I am or what I went through, what I did, how that worked. It just is what it is. It was what it was. No, I don't have one. Yes, life went on. And the people that judge you because of it, don't go around wearing it on your forehead, but if you come across people that judge you because of maybe what you did or didn't do in the past, think about how much you really want to deal with them anyway. Honestly, when I come across people that judge me, it's only better for me, because now I know to stay away from you with my future endeavors, because this is probably a pattern that you have, and this is what you do to people.